So we're going to be joined by Veronica Sites. We talked to Veronica last week on a little more lighter subject. We discussed how to diffuse those simmering to explosive conversations around Thanksgiving dinner. Now, Veronica, a little more serious, and I understand that you are a therapist or counselor rather, on top of your other many hats. And so when you're dealing with a situation like what happened in the attack on the Ohio State University, there's a particular, I guess, certain circles of effect here, namely, the victims, the people who knew the victims, the people on campus, and the people around campus. And so when you're dealing with the directly traumatized, either the people who were there or the people who were actually attacked, what is the first way to what are the major concerns in handling the sort of feelings they might be going through as they recover?
The major concern I'll start with the parents first. The major concern is when you're separated from those that you have typically provided a sense of security for, is being felt both by the adults and the students there. Least to say the faculty, staff, and all of the responders. One of the greatest concerns is that people dismiss the level of impact it has on the individual. And as many individuals as are feeling the effects of it, it's really important that they deal with themselves, not compare to how bad or how unaffected somebody else is. The bottom line is that not just at the end of the day, but down the road, a month, 2 years from now, way down the road, suppressing and dismissing and denying that it has had an impact on personal sense of security dismisses the opportunity to realize trauma affects behavior, psyche, emotions, thoughts, and beliefs. And when we deny those things, we're not giving our brain and body the opportunity to grow stronger from what the body is signaling and crying for help with.
So the main idea is to not minimize what you might be feeling with. Well, my kid wasn't in the attack, or I wasn't there, or it wasn't one of my friends. It really didn't involve me. But you're still feeling those kind of like, God, that's really is to not minimize it, not to tell your friends, well, look, you weren't there, so it's not really a big deal. Get over it. I mean, no, you still got some stuff you got to get through.
Yeah, I mean, on the other side of that is you don't want to blow it out of proportion in the sense of somebody may not have been there. However, they may have been in the past in a similar situation that now triggers and reignites undealt with things that may have been suppressed. One of the things that we've learned post 9/11 is the value of focusing on mental wellness and equipping people with psychological first aid, the things to be aware of that your body does when it's crying for help and there are no words.
Now, when it comes to dealing with the people on campus, the people who were either locked down in classrooms as the scary warning of what was initially called an active shooter, and then being told the phrasing as Homeland Security put it, run, hide, fight. Those cause a number of feelings in people, and even after the situation is over, I'm sure there's a lot of leftover baggage attached to that. What is the method of handling those kind of emotions after it's all said and done?
Well, in the same way, and I actually am deployed by Homeland Security in these situations. So in the same
Excellent.
way, when a situation is active, you run, hide, and fight when necessary. The after post care that I enact goes down to 3 words: plan, prepare, and perform. Plan to pay attention to your body because it's going to give you signals, whether it's restlessness, uneasiness, interruption to sleep, or maybe even you can sleep but you wake up more tired and it doesn't make any sense to you. Your body will signal a lot of things that if they're ignored, and which is typical, a lot of people don't want to say, hey, I might need some help because they're worried about what somebody else is going to think, or worried about maybe somebody's going to label them or give them a stigma of some kind because, they give too much mental real estate to the opinions of others, rather than recognizing your body is going to have something and it's behavioral. It acts out, whether it's you lose your appetite or you're not hungry. Those things are your body's way of saying, I need some attention here, but I don't have words. I'm your body, and I'm going to shut down on you and compromise your health if you don't pay attention to me. And that's the risk.
Now, for parents of students who might be involved in this, and you check in. Okay, yeah, I'm all right. I'm fine. If they're coming back for Christmas in a month or so, what are some things that parents might want to look out for? Say, hey, my son's acting weird. My daughter is a little distant. I wonder if this is somewhat attached to what happened here. What are some of the signs that they can be looking for in their sons and daughters to say, hey, maybe we need to talk about something on this?
I actually have a download that I provide parents. It's called Understanding Traumatic Stress. It lays out very clearly symptomatic manifesting behaviors or things that others will recognize often, but also when somebody, say the student is given this information, what we encourage them to do is be informed, because your body will perform at the lowest level of information it has to draw from. So if there's nothing to draw from, you just start to think, okay, well, maybe I don't want to deal with this. I don't want to believe that I have a problem, therefore I ignore it. And then they go home for the holidays and other people are recognizing these things. Well, knowing what to look for equips a person to recognize, okay, this is normal to the circumstances. Therefore, if I want to feel better, there's got to be something I can do. And that's when we let them know. There's a lot of ways to move through it. Visit with a counselor, go through some debriefing, but knowing the warnings of what is going on is critical to taking care towards mental wellness following an event like this.
All right, Veronica Sites, one final question. If, say you have a student or you have a son or daughter who's, thinking about going to OSU, or any, college campus for that matter, and now suddenly an event like this, we've seen similar things at like Virginia Tech, taking one back to Kent State, let's be honest. If situations like this, I guess when you talk about the feeling of security that a parent gives a kid who might be, ready to get out into the world, they're a senior this year, they've already got that acceptance letter from Ohio State, and now suddenly something like this happens, and, maybe they show some reservations now. What is the parents' method for for bringing them in and saying, look, this is this is the situation, and how do you handle a kid who might have anxiety, because they're going to be going into a situation where now they realize it's not going to be as safe as it was living under mom and dad's roof.
Right, and that reality does really strike home both for students and parents. So for parents, one of the best things that you can do is reassure your students you are going to equip them as best you can before you send them off. If that's with information, then that's as much as you can do. But for the student, one of the things is the better prepared student has a plan of, thinking through, okay, I've got to recognize that statistics are that it's not going to repeat in the same place again, but at the same time, recognize, okay, this happened, but I don't let it victimize me for the rest of my life. I take a situation that victimized many that were there before I got on campus, yet I can be victorious over it and learn from this. So if I have a plan that I can think of in advance, then should it ever happen, there's a lot to be said about providing a peace of mind and beginning to lay a foundation of a sense of security that somebody's not going to be operating on complete ignorance and reactive emotional behavior.
Awesome tips, awesome ideas, and when people want to get that information, particularly the trauma checklist, as you mentioned, where do they go to get all that?
They just need to go to conflictresolutionspeaker.com, and it's a downloadable PDF right there.
Conflictresolutionspeaker.com?
Yes.
Excellent. Veronica Sites, I appreciate you joining us on the Scott Show News Radio 1370 and 92.9 FM. I appreciate your help.
Thank you.